All right, guys, welcome back to another video. If you like daily gaming and Xbox content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So it is going into the last week of January, and we really still don't have a full outlook at the PlayStation roadmap for this year. There hasn't been a PlayStation showcase in a while, and people are expecting one to pop up soon sometime to give us insight as to what the games are coming and are there going to be any big first party games in 2024. Well, it looks like we have a leak here about the next upcoming PlayStation State of Play, where we will get announcements for a bunch of games, or at least show off games that we already know about. And it looks like it could be a pretty good State of Play, minus the fact that there still are no first party games. And I think this kind of will cement and confirm that PlayStation does not have any big first party game coming out in 2024 that they aren't contracting out, or that they aren't paying for a third party to go and develop it, similar to what they do with a game like Hell Divers. Now, this is a tweet here from Special Nick, as we know from Xbox Era, who gets a lot of insider information and gets a lot of leaks and stuff, and has put information up before that has come true. And this is what he tweets out: on the 31st, roughly, Ronins will rise, will die stranded, have a rebirth, and Kojima will fulfill his dream. Sonic will live in the shadow of his generation, while the hills will remain silent until the dawn, when you'll need to catch the metro. Just don't be Judas about it. So he obviously very cryptic with this tweet, but it's pretty easy to kind of read it between the lines and decipher it. And if you go down here, pretty much everybody has deciphered and put out lists of what potentially this could mean in terms of a state of play. In fact, Randall Thor 19 here actually puts it out in very easy to read, a nice list where you kind of can see exactly what he is saying. And basically what he is saying is that a state of play is coming around January 31st. And the games that will be featured at this state of play: Rise of the Ronin, Death Stranding 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Sonic Generations Remaster, Silent Hill 2, a new Metro game, and Judas. So I'm looking at that list, and I don't think there really is anything that we did not know about. The only one is maybe Sonic Generations Remaster, unless I forgot that they already had shown that off. Maybe they have. And then also Silent Hill 2. I think we've heard lots of rumors about Silent Hill. And then a new Metroid game, which obviously we don't know about yet. They would be announcing it here at the PlayStation Showcase. I would be guessing this is a game that is going to be multi-platform, but PlayStation has the marketing rights, or maybe it will be a timed PlayStation 5 exclusive. Who knows? But most likely just the marketing rights. So a pretty awesome list here in terms of just games that people are going to be able to play, but still nothing here from their first party studios. Judas is another one that is a cool game that they showed off. They probably have the marketing rights for that too. So that's why they would be showing it off here. However, again, nothing from our first party, nothing with PSVR 2. It's like, what has happened with the PlayStation VR 2? Is that thing just dead? Is that truly going to be one of those things that PlayStation cuts off right away after selling it and making people believe they were really truly going to be supporting this thing and giving people longevity with this new PlayStation VR 2 technology? They built brand new controllers. The headset itself is significantly better. There's only one small cord USB-C that you do plug in, and it's just overall it's a much better experience than the first PSVR. It looks like they were on their way to actually giving a good headset and continuing to iterate and make it way better in terms of the technology. But now it just seems like they're completely abandoning it, unless maybe they have a state of play just focusing on PlayStation VR 2. Where are the first party VR games? Just like what they did when they released Call of the Wild for Horizon, when they launched it with the PlayStation VR 2. So disappointing, but I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want to play any of these games. I'll probably play them on Xbox if they come to Xbox. But I mean, at the end of the day, it really does kind of confirm there's no big first party games coming from PlayStation in 2024. It is going to be a very, very down year for the PlayStation platform. And we also kind of did see this with those Insomniac leaks, where there was nothing really slated in 2024. And what this will prove is that essentially it's not going to have a very big effect, or if any effect, on console sales, and that people don't pick up consoles to play the first party games. They just pick up the consoles for a variety of different reasons. And we can link this all even back to the Xbox strategy, where people were losing their minds that Xbox was going to be opening up their ecosystem and launching their first party games day and date on PC at the same time as console. I was the person here saying it's not going to have really any effect on console sales, and I don't think it really has. Xbox is still trying to recover from a down Xbox One generation, and we will see what happens near the end of the generation where they do end up. But when it does come to Xbox, that was a good segue into this section. So when it does come to Xbox releasing games on other platforms, releasing them on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5 is a completely different story, because we got messaging as Xbox fans, and I would say I'm a core Xbox fan as I've been playing Xbox since the OG Xbox. I still today play my Xbox Series X and S. I know there's a lot of people out there that always like to complain about the Xbox consoles or them making moves, and a lot of these people are probably playing games on their PC anyways, but I'm somebody who plays on my Xbox. It's my primary place where I play over any other platform. And the messaging that Xbox did give us when they did acquire Bethesda was that they were going to be releasing exclusive games wherever Xbox Game Pass is. I did a video on a live stream a couple of weeks ago when all of this stuff about Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves was making the rounds about going on to PlayStation, and I broke down why the case-by-case basis that everyone always likes to bring up does not justify them putting a game like Hi-Fi Rush onto the PlayStation 5 or the Nintendo Switch. It would mean that they essentially were dishonest with the core Xbox fans at the Bethesda roundtable. And I could get into it here, but just go watch that stream. I may just cut that clip out and put it out as a singular video, because people always bring up the case-by-case basis. But if you do watch that video, you'll understand that Phil Spencer has continuously said that the new exclusive games are going to be coming out wherever Xbox Game Pass is, meaning when they talk about multi-platform, when they talk about putting games not just on the Xbox console, they mean within the Xbox ecosystem. So taking Hi-Fi Rush, putting it on PS5, putting it on the Nintendo Switch, to me would be a bad move. I don't think it would even really generate a huge payoff for them in terms of the amount of sales. They would make more sales, but I don't think it would pay off and offset the hurt it could do to the brand and to the core Xbox fans who have been following them from the very beginning and continuously purchasing everything Xbox. But it looks like that those rumors aren't going away. Now, to be clear, we haven't heard anything from Xbox, and this could all just be false. This could all just be fake. And this is Jess Corden here talking about this on the Xbox 2 podcast. He says, I will say it's definitely happening. So anyone who's got hopium or copium, like Xbox isn't doing this, it's happening. Like, it's not all games. It's going to be select games, of course, but it's happening, and other companies will do it too. Now, this isn't anything new, right? We already knew this was happening. Xbox is putting their legacy games, and they still have their legacy games on other platforms, games as a service games, multiplayer games. Sea of Thieves, which was released far before the acquisition of Bethesda, is a legacy game. So them putting Sea of Thieves on PlayStation or the Switch makes sense. But so that wouldn't be surprising. And maybe that's what he's referring to here. However, when it comes to a game like Hi-Fi Rush, which has been back in the rumors, as we did see as well, that they updated the game for PC with PS5 DualSense features like adaptive triggers and the haptic feedbacks, it probably doesn't really mean anything. But if that game comes on to PlayStation, then it's a different story. And that's where I disagree with Xbox if they were to do this. And Jess Corden essentially saying it's happening, something's happening. There are games that Xbox is going to release that are going to be put onto other platforms. And we will see if any of those are new games, if any of those go against the messaging that Xbox fans have received. And if plans have changed, Xbox absolutely needs to come out and reiterate those plans to the fans, that there are going to be new exclusives that aren't just going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. But again, we will keep our eyes open on this and see what really happens, because right now it's all rumors, it's all conjecture, it's all just people not giving any details as to what they mean. Saying that it's definitely happening and there are games that are going to go onto other platforms isn't any new information. But let's jump over here and let's talk about potentially another game in the works at Obsidian. So there's this here from the developer direct, where the beginning of the developer direct, they did like a montage across the different studios. And this image here, right at the beginning, is of Obsidian, and somebody zoomed into the back. As you can see, there is writing on a window in the back of the Obsidian offices here, and somebody zoomed into it. And what we can see here is Project Michigan, and somebody saying You got any games on your phone? So as we know right now, these are the projects in the works at Obsidian. And I find it insane how many projects Obsidian works on at the same time. They carry Xbox at times with the amount of content and releases that they do put out. But we have The Outer Worlds 2, which is codename Arkansas, Avowed, codename Alabama, Pentiment, codename Missouri, Grounded, codename Maine, The Outer Worlds was codename Indiana, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire was codename Louisiana. And then we see here the codename or Project Michigan by Obsidian and the quote, "You got any games on your phone?" This has me thinking it could be a couple of things, or maybe a DLC for Grounded. That could be something that they are working on right now. Or could it be them creating a mobile experience? As we know, Xbox wants to expand out in mobile, which is one of the main reasons why they did purchase Activision Blizzard. They've been talking about making their own Xbox mobile store to compete with Apple and with Google. And maybe at these studios now, they all have a small team working on a specific mobile game that will launch into that store. I mean, we have no idea. As we do know, Avowed is coming out, The Outer Worlds 2 that they're working on, obviously continuously working on Grounded and DLC. So could be any of those projects as well that they are referring to here, or maybe parts of those projects when it comes to Project Michigan. I'm sure we will eventually figure out what Project Michigan means. You go down here into the comments. We have this here from Globral, who actually wrote this on Reset Era, that it potentially could be a Grounded or a PvP mode. He writes, "Some of the comments made by Adam Brenneck last year makes me think we might see further things Grounded, potentially even a sequel. I still think Grounded or a sequel with PvP would elevate the game to new heights." But I mean, again, that's just speculation. We don't actually fully know. Now, when it comes to games that are in the works, we have some information here on studios actually working together to work on State of Decay 3, or at least more studios working with State of Decay 3, working with Undead Labs. So this comes via a LinkedIn profile of Viet Trong, who is at Undead Labs, and he writes this in his profile. It says, "Mojang UI engineering team sharing code between studios, minimizing reinvention, and collaborating with Mojang Studios to open source state management library." And then also last year, we did hear about Matt Booty talking about how Xbox studios are sharing their technologies. So we have Vital Sloth here saying, according to Viet Trunk's LinkedIn profile, the Coalition Studio isn't the only studio that is helping Undead Labs. Mojang is also collaborating with the development of State of Decay 3. So that's 3 studios working together, bringing in their expertise, bringing in their technologies, and helping create State of Decay 3. I'm extremely excited for State of Decay 3. It's one of those games that is probably near the top of my list just because of the fun I had with State of Decay 2. And I think that now under Microsoft fully and all of the resources and stuff that Xbox can bring to the table, all of the expertise from the other studios, State of Decay 3 could be an amazing, amazing game. Survival game, zombie hunting game, all of these things put together, building, crafting. And you look at the success of Power Up, now is the time to capitalize on the success of these styles of games. And State of Decay 3 needs to be capitalized on here by Xbox, for people who like a survival game, like Power, have been playing Power, want to try something new, they jump into State of Decay 3 and are wowed. And I feel like with all these studios coming together, it could be that. So hopefully we will see something this year at an Xbox showcase for this game. And then when it comes to Blizzard, apparently there are more IPs that we don't know about in the works, some new IPs. This comes via Mike Muji's LinkedIn profile, who is developing 2 new fantasy IPs at Blizzard. Now, one of them could be Odyssey, which we know is canceled, and we don't know what the other one is, right? We don't know what other game there is, but we did hear when they did cancel Odyssey that they said they were taking employees and moving them over to all of the other new projects, or all the other projects that we don't know about that are being worked on by Blizzard. So I'm hoping it is something good. I'm hoping it is going to make up for the cancellation of Odyssey. Again, we will never know what Odyssey is. It's one of the most intriguing things right now, I think, for me at least, in terms of what could this game have been, and if did Xbox make the right call by canceling it? Was it really in such a bad state that they didn't want it to be another Redfall situation, and they actually stepped up, did a good job managing the fact that they're not putting out content that isn't quality and canceling it? And maybe they deserve kudos for that, or maybe they just jumped the gun and canceled it, and we could never see the full potential of this game. Jess Corden was really reacting strongly to the cancellation of Odyssey and to what happened at Blizzard, which does make me ask questions. What does he know? Would love one day for him to let us know more about Odyssey and what he did figure out, but we will maybe end up knowing in a couple months, couple years, when people do talk, when non-disclosure agreements, if that is something that was signed when they were let go, especially Mike Ybarra, if he ever comes out and speaks about what happens, we will never truly know what happened behind the scenes here with the Odyssey game. So it will be a very when it does come out, it'll be way past the people probably will not care or be thinking about it as much. But I am going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.